is out, and I'm here to share with you how I propagate my cane begonias. Generally, you'd want to do this in spring after danger of last frost, but I grow all my plants indoors under lights, so I can pretty much do it year-round. Like I said, I grow under lights, I grow a lot of terrarium stuff, and the canes fill in the spaces that kind of complement the terrariums. They respond really well, and they even flower under the lights. So first we're going to go over the equipment. First you need a begonia. So this is Begonia Sweet Shirley. We're going to go into we're going to take cuttings from that. You're going to need, depending on how thick those canes are, you're going to need good clean equipment. I've already wiped these down with alcohol and let it dry off. You want to do that with every single plant in between plants because you don't want to spread a disease. Now when you get a plant, make sure it doesn't have bugs or anything. Get rid of whatever it might have. Another thing you're going to need is just a plain clear glass jar, and you're going to need to fill it with just regular tap water. That's all you're going to need. That line there is a node, and at one of the leaves you're going to see that the leaf comes out below the node. Now that, whenever you see a scar there below the node, it was a leaf, so we're good, you don't have to worry about that. But you'll also see that above the node there's this little thing that sticks out. That can either be a new branch or it could be a flower stalk. This is an old flower stalk that's right here. You're going to see when you look at the base that it grows above the node. So that's really important because that space above that node, the internode, is where the roots come out. So it won't root in that space. So you don't want to use your bottom cut. So now where to cut? For the purposes of this, I'm cutting my Sweet Shirley. I'm looking for a node. You're going to see on this one, there's actually a node here that has not flowered. There's no scar above the node. I'm going to take a cut right there. Now this piece is going to branch out. You're going to save that for later. And now you're going to look at this. Now, there's probably a little too much extra that you need, but this right here will give me a couple of good cuttings. So I've cut right below a node that has that little nub, and I want to make sure now that I have a little bit of leaf. You want to cut off the excess leaf because you really want it to root, and you're going to take less energy putting into that leaf, and you're going to let the plant put more energy into putting out roots. And simple as can be, you're going to stick that in water. So off of that cutting, I actually got a couple of cuttings. These are the smaller ones. You're going to cut off the excess leaf. This one actually is a little too small, but it'll still work. So you're going to stick that in there. And if you're a stickler for names, if somebody gave you, don't have a name, you just like the plant, doesn't matter. But this is Sweet Shirley. Always just don't do it later. Do it now because they look alike. Put your label in right in their water, and it'll also have a label when it goes time to pot it up. So now you've done your cutting, however many you've done. Now you're going to put in place with bright light, about 8 hours of good light a day, and you're just going to let them sit till they put off roots. Okay, so a few weeks ago I did some cuttings of some of my other begonias that were getting a little outgrown, and now you can see that they're full of roots, and these are actually a little more rooted than they like to be. When you've got a few roots that are about 1 inch long, actually you can pot them up. Now I want you to notice in this cutting that how many nodes? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 nodes there. Each one of those nodes has potential to make another branch, to make your plant bushier right off the bat. So now it's time to pot this up. I use a good commercial mix, peat moss and perlite, and a little bit of organic matter. But if it's too heavy, if your plants don't dry out real quick, they don't like to be overwatered. They also don't like to be over potted. If you put this in a 4-inch pot, it's going to probably just wane away in that 4-inch pot. So what you want to use is get the smallest pot you have. These are just little cups. I've drilled holes in the bottom. And you're going to put this as far down in the pot as you possibly can. And then you're going to fill it up with soil, burying all those nodes and hopefully triggering them to put off nodes and get more branches on that plant. So now you actually have a plant. That's a rooted plant. So don't forget, you're going to put a label in it. You're going to pack the soil around it, not too hard because you're not going to want to break the roots. You're going to put a label in it. Do it now, don't do it later because you're going to forget. This is actually Begonia Dream Lover. So now you're going to water it with a good water. You're going to give it a good watering. You're going to add a little bit of fertilizer to that, just a weak solution fertilizer, and you're just going to put it back to where it gets a lot of light and just wait till the next stop. The next step that you're looking for when it's time to start potting up is when it actually gets way too big for the pot, or you see these on this plant. This is Sylvan's Triumph again. You're going to see a close-up of this. You're going to see these new little shoots come up from below the soil. That means we buried some nodes when I potted this up, and now it's starting to put off new shoots. So you're actually waiting now for all your cuttings to start putting shoots, and that's about the time you're going to need to pot it up. So we're going to put these on the shelf. These are some that I did before. We're waiting for new shoots to come off of those. So when it's time to pot up again, we'll see you again. Like and subscribe. Thank you.